When discussing research-based teaching and learning, it is important to realize that it takes place on 3 levels. In this video, I will therefore go through these 3 levels. The first I would describe as a structural administrative level. At this level, research-based teaching and learning becomes primarily a question of how to implement research-based teaching and learning at its institutional level. At this level, strategies, programs, and courses are created that contribute to the courses being research-based. At this level, it also becomes relevant for the management to ensure that the employed teachers, perhaps by having them take courses, that they receive the support they need as both teachers and researchers, so that it's possible to maintain a high level of competence for research-based teaching and learning. The second level I would describe as collegial. What constitutes research-based teaching and learning varies from subject area to subject area, but it also varies among employees in the same discipline. For this reason, it should be self-evident that research-based teaching and learning within a program is anchored in an ongoing discussion among colleagues, which makes it possible to align the program according to the same vision of what research-based teaching and learning is and how it should be realized within a program. Unfortunately, employees within higher education report that such discussions seldom take place, which means that research-based teaching and learning is more difficult to realize. However, research-based teaching and learning is better realized to the extent that the employees, and this goes for the students too for that matter, that they have a clear idea of what research-based teaching and learning involves. If this clarity is lacking, there is then a risk that learning will be adapted to each teacher's individual notions about what research-based teaching and learning is, which makes joint strategic work in teaching more difficult. The third level is the individual level. Here the focus is on the teacher's ability and responsibility to conduct their teaching in a way that contributes to research-based teaching and learning. Among other things, teachers are expected to strive to use the latest research, apply teaching practices that have been shown to be effective by research, and teach students to become familiar with the research practices and methods of researchers. I say strive because teachers do not always have the opportunity to live up to these ideals, but you can at least strive for research-based teaching and learning. For this to happen, it should also be obvious that the teacher needs to have an idea of what research-based teaching and learning means and a vision of how it can be implemented. This is why it is also so important for the teacher to participate in discussions, especially with colleagues where research-based teaching and learning is discussed. In order to develop effective research-based teaching and learning, all these 3 levels should work towards making teaching research-based. It goes without saying that a teacher who wants to work in a research-based way but is opposed by management will not be able to implement his or her teaching effectively. Similarly, management can create comprehensive and visionary documents and directives on research-based teaching and learning. But if their will is not anchored among the teachers, the program or individual courses will not work strategically towards research-based teaching and learning in practice. Thus, in order to realize research-based teaching and learning, these 3 levels must interact with each other. Teachers should therefore not be expected to shoulder the responsibility for research-based teaching and learning on their own, as research-based teaching and learning is a collective concern within universities and other institutions of higher education. But then, assuming that these 3 levels work together towards research-based teaching and learning, what might this look like in practice when it emerges among students? In the next video, we will turn to Ron Griffiths' description of the research teaching nexus to begin to answer this question. So see you there.